Hello everyone. I'm not used to make presentations face-to-face now, from 2 years ago, but I'm glad to present the Lisbon's case study to you.
Stand a bit closer to the microphone.
Sorry.
And you've got a TV down there. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, Rua Moraes Soares, our case study is Rua Moraes Soares and Praça Paiva Colseiro. No, this doesn't work. So, this is located, they are very important connections from the city center to the eastern side of the city, which is a very populated city in Lisbon. Actually, they are located in Lisbon we have 5 ring roads, what we like to call ring roads. And those 2 infrastructures, these 2 streets and square, are located in the two most inner ring roads. So they are a very important connection to the city center. But most important of all is that they are very diversified. It's not only movements, but they are a mix of place activities and pedestrians and public transport that is very interesting. Actually, for me, it's one of the most interesting streets in Lisbon because it has a mix of local local shops with a neighborhood life, which is every day more rare in Lisbon and I believe in most of any capital cities. Of course, it has good things and bad things. The bad thing it has a lot of pressure. Pressure for parking, pressure for cars, pressure for pedestrians. We don't have a lot of pressure for cycling yet, but even that is increasing a lot, especially because of the delivery guys. The public transport is very important. In Lisbon, we don't have so many connections to the city center from the eastern side of the town. So it's located. We have five public transport lines and airway in each direction of 1 bus per 2.5 minutes, which is a lot. And of course, we have double parking, a lot of double parking, high ratio of accidents, most of all minor, but even that, we have serious injuries, and, but lots of pedestrian casualties. This is how the street design currently. We can see this is a typical design section. We can see that it's totally car-oriented. We have 2 lanes in each direction, 2 parkings sometimes, almost ever, and the sidewalks have 1.5 meters of width, which is very few. I'm speaking about a street in some sections that has 600 people per hour in 1.5 or 1.6 or 1.8 meters, and we have obstacles, and the pavement is difficult, and it's a zone with a lot of elderly people living, and it's difficult, with no trees, no nothing. In the right side, we have Praça Paiva Colseiro Square. It's very, very interesting, with a lot of place activities there, people walking, people staying. It's a beautiful garden. It could be more beautiful, but it's beautiful. But it's an island surrounded by highways, authentic highways. We are speaking about 3, 4. We don't even understand if they are 4 lanes or 3 lanes sometimes. So it's high speeds and people, and with a lot of accidents surrounding the square. So we made a huge data collection. First, the easy ones, demographic. In a buffer of 100 meters around the street and square live 6,000 people. But if we increase the buffer to 500 meters, we have 30,000 people. It's a lot. It's a lot. A lot of place activities. If I remember, it's 170 stores, restaurants, everything. Probably now some of them closed, but okay. And with a high demand along all day At night, not so many, but during all day, a lot of demand. Curbside activities. Okay, now we made a huge data collection. Countings, parking, service, everything. The work of curbside activities was amazing. I believe that in Lisbon we don't have so many works. So we have indicators. The company that made the data collection was very good, and we made the analysis very good also. And we have, point by point, how the parking is occupied. And now I can't go there to explain. And we see that we have load and load parking spaces, and we have regular spaces, metered parking. And we have the distribution of the time there, and we see that in the metered parking, 10% of the time, only 10% of the time, the space is empty. In contrast, load and load, around 50, it's like 40-something, is occupied. But then we have the distribution of time, and the load and load, most of the people are below 30, but then we have a lot of abusive parking. And in the metered parking, normal parking, we have high rotation parking, but most of the people use it every day. It's parked. They don't remove the car. So we have countings. We are speaking in the street in two directions, around 1,000 vehicles. And like I said before, in some sections, 600 pedestrians. And we make shopkeeper survey to residents and visitors also to understand the patterns, how they move. And in fact, most of the users walk. It's around almost 50% walk, 40% walk, 26 is public transport, and 21 is car. So with this, we follow the process, to follow the more. And we use policy intervention tool, first of all, to understand, to gather, to know, to have examples, to understand what can we use. And these provide a wide set of information, good examples, which was good. First, the normal ones that everyone says, reduction of the number of parking spaces, traffic lanes, widen footway, and then flexible design, kiss and ride, which could be very important there. Then stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement was very good for us. Unfortunately, we don't do that often in Lisbon, to say almost never. So don't say that. So, first of all, the first interaction was TraffWeb. We use it online, and we gather 150 comments, exactly, and they make comments about it. And actually, it was very interesting, because what we see is that people are aware that double parking is a major issue. And double parking is creating several issues for cars. So maybe it's not needed. Right? It's a problem because of buses, and it is. The parking, but at the same time, the parking was the most problematic decision here. Because, okay, double parking is a problem, but it's because we have demand. So what's the decision? Some people want to remove, someone wants to increase, someone wants to let. So it's very difficult, and even for people and even for technicians also. So we have those kind of comments. Most of the people are complaining about the lack of quality of the pedestrian space and traffic, which is related to double parking. One phenomenon, interesting phenomenon that it has happened is that during COVID, we built a pop-up cycle lane in the surroundings. So 2 days after, we have an incredible bunch of comments saying, leave it like it is. Please leave it. But we have a bunch of people, cycle lane, cycle lane, cycle lane. It was amazing. Well, we saw the graphic was like this. Then we gathered the public participation. We organized 2 sessions on the street, and what was good is the elderly people were the most interested in to participate. The trough web is, the elder people are digitally excluded normally. So trough web was very directed to academic, to younger people. Then we have the stakeholders here in the street. Elderly people could give their opinion, could feel engaged. And it was very interesting using the blocks and acetates because they saw that, okay, this proposal doesn't fit in the street, let me see this. And we heard their opinions. Again, double parking is a problem, but the parking is always a problem. And what we saw, we had that impression already, but cycle lanes in Lisbon are very difficult. Now it's a case of love or hate, it's extremes. It's very difficult to discuss cycle lanes. So here is one of the options, an example. People asked for cycle lane, a bus lane in one direction, then parking on diagonal parking. In the above figure is the current situation. Below is a suggestion that came from blocks. This one, which I liked because it's not only focused on movement, but always also in public activities. Terraces, parking for bicycles, cycle lane, okay, parking, and within footway, which was very interesting. I remember who said that. It was a foreigner. So we also have the online sessions. The online sessions were with the municipality department, the parish council, the disabled, the pedestrian associations also. And we intended to organize these sessions to discuss the future. What could be the future? It was a mistake, we couldn't. People focus in discussing the current situation, and in certain time, me and my colleague, we gave up and let's discuss current situation. Okay. It's good to see, to hear the priorities of each department. Each department defends his opinions. So then we use line maps to test some solutions, section to section, to see it fits or not. And then micro simulation, which took me some hours of sleep. And for the micro simulation, we gathered the opinions of both public participation, some comments of stakeholders on TraffWeb, and the virtual design sessions. And of course, our opinion is also important. So, one solution that I'm not very amused, but it was one opinion, it's the precedence to parking, reduction of one lane, and have diagonal parking. The parking spaces will increase, and we have a slight enlargement of the sidewalk. Now, the precedence to bus lanes, one bus lane in each side, and the street remains the same. The precedence to cycle lanes, it's the reduction of one lane, have a refuge here in the center for trees, which I know that someone in the audience doesn't like a lot, like Mario Alves, and cycle lane in each side and parking in both sides. And then the fourth scenario, that is the parking and the trees and the enlargement of sidewalks and the bus lane in one direction. But, and then a fifth scenario that is Praça Pava Conceiro. This one was very hard to simulate, and I personally like this scenario. I think it's very important. But simulations, values, we need to create several left turns. And it's difficult, because around the square, we have a lot of connections. So we have some congestion problems around the square. And we can discuss if it's worthwhile to do this and have some congestion, even if it's enjoyable to be in the street like that. For me, it would worth to do this, but it's a difficult decision, it's true. But, okay, one thing we tried, it's not only movements. When we try to, of course, this is a design in Visum, my graphics driver is not very good, but we tried to show that we can increase public space, not only for movement, like we said, in the left is current scenario, and in the right are two of the scenarios. The footway is enlarged, and in the above scenario is bigger, even there. And we make an interlift of the parking base, so we can enlarge the sidewalk. Of course, the scenario above, and we install benches and trees on the sidewalk. The benches is more close I got for the 3D models of Visum, but I'm saying Visum, but I'm saying that we could install parklets, terraces. We have space for that, and that is important. Even benches are very important. The scenario may not be perfect, but it's an idea. And I think we have to sell that idea that to people, it's about public space, because movements is very easy to measure, very easy. But then public space is a political decision. It's our decision to say, this worth. And the scenario above, for instance, we need a reduction of 20% of the parking. But then I can ask you, what is 20% of the parking? Because 20% less or 20% more, what is it? We don't know. Because in the street, the parking is always full. So, okay, we increase 20%, it will be full. We reduce 20%, it will be full. So, does it worth to have a public space, a better public space like this and reduce those 20%? For me, yes. So, and I'm saying this, and this is only a scenario, but I think we can work step by step. And if we show this to the shopkeepers, if we say to shopkeepers, you are going to lose 20%, they will kill us. But we can say, look at this, and in some places we are going to transform parallel parking to diagonal parking. In some places you are going to have more parking. Oh, okay, that's not bad. So if you, and I'm sure that some restaurants, if they look, okay, a more beautiful design, if they have that, they will choose to have that kind of space instead of the new one, the regular parking with double parking. It's not good. And then, yes, you can go step by step. We have some solution like this, and then we can go to the Praça Paiva Coceiro and remove. And in this way, we could improve this kind of public space quality. 1 minute. Okay. So, okay, I'm speaking about public space quality, but we also have some measurements, and we make a comparison between scenarios. And what we see is that the reduction of one lane from west to east, it still works very well. And from east to west is a problem, especially during morning, because we tried, we make simulations, and the mix of public transport with the general traffic lanes in one lane in that direction is very difficult, especially for buses. The buses suffer several delays. But in the other side, so we kept one public transport lane in that side. But on the other side, one lane is enough. So let's enjoy this, take advantage of that, and let's improve places for sidewalks and reduce speed also. And of course, we made also, like we see, design 4 as better level of service, design 3 too, and the other 3 is not like very good. Thank you very much. It was my presentation. I can't forget the Sandra Thompson, who is the manager of this project.